Hello everyone, and welcome to my GH Soap Opera Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. While Michael is brought to justice by Chase's discovery of the planted key, Drew is once again caught off guard by Willow's bombshell. Jacinda and Christina have an encounter with Ezra. Michael informs Wiley and Amelia that they will see their mom again, and Wiley notices something fishy on General Hospital today. At the gym, Christina and Jacinda meet up for a yoga session. When the subject of Michael comes up, Jacinda finds out about his shocking custody agreement with Willow. She is concerned that Michael feels resentful toward her since he kept this information from her, and that Willow may have used her history to coerce him into relinquishing custody of their children. Jacinda worries that Christina would cause more difficulty for Michael than she's worth, despite Christina's assurances that she wasn't the driving force behind Michael's agreement. Ezra then appears, invites Jacinda out to dinner, and specifies that she is welcome to bring a companion along if she so desires. Jacinda introduces Christina Corinthos Davis, whose name connects with him. After reiterating that his offer is still valid, Ezra chooses to work out at the gym. Christina is frightened out by Ezra and asks whether Jacinda is ready for class. Jacinda says she's not done with Ezra yet. Jacinda approaches Ezra, who apologizes for putting her on the position. Jacinda explains she's not free to say yes to dinner right now, but her schedule could clear up in a month or two. Unable to make sense of it all, Christina watches as she hands him her personal number. In the Quartermain kitchen, Chase borrows Michael's keys at the same time as Dante arrives seeking Rocco to accompany him to GH for his community service. Chase wonders how the follow-up questioning with Michael went. Dante tells him that he was demoted for overstepping in this case, but Chase still cares about justice. Chase believes that if proof against Michael arises, Dante won't hide his brother. Dante claims he wouldn't. Rocco comes, and he and Dante go off, as does Chase. Michael confides in Brooke Lynn in the sunroom. Brooke Lynn and Michael converse, and he informs her about the custody arrangement with Willow. Michael informs her that he had to do this since he feared losing everything if they went to court. Brooke Lynn understands he believes he's going to be caught and charged for shooting Drew. Michael says Diane says there is a significant likelihood he will be charged. Brooke Lynn asks whether he's worried about Willow having the kids and their safety. He has his concerns about her, but Drew is no longer a threat to his kids after his stroke. Brooke Lynn encourages him this may be a positive thing, and to look at it as helping his kids have a healthy connection with their mom. She vows to assist him through this. Michael, with Brooke Lynn, lays his kids down and tells them they get to see their mommy again. Wiley is overjoyed and hugs his dad, albeit Amelia is too little to comprehend. Britt causes trouble at the hospital. Britt arrives into the hospital, and Liz tells her that she has patients waiting and Dr. Randolph is searching for her. Should she inform Terry that she's late owing to moonlighting at Windmere? Britt screams at her, asking what she knows about it. Liz claims Lucas told her about her position there. Britt says getting your financial life in order after returning from the dead is expensive. She's sorry she snapped at her. Liz accepts the apologies, and Britt walks off. Later, Dante shows up to drop Rocco off, and Britt stumbles into them. Britt informs Rocco that her mother bought tickets to his next hockey game, and she'll do her best to manage her in the stands. Liz takes Rocco off to get to work, and Dante asks Britt, "How far do you think you can push me?" Britt doesn't understand how she's pushing him. Dante claims she doesn't need any form of contact with his son. She assumed they had hammered out a peace accord. Dante believes Rocco doesn't know the real woman, the one who exploits others, and she doesn't deserve to be in his life. Britt assures him that Rocco isn't a small child anymore, and he gets to select who he sees. Dante claims she is still a menace to his son. Britt swears she would do everything to protect Rocco, so he proposes she stay away from him. Later, Liz checks on Dante, and he praises her for getting Rocco out of there. Liz realizes that Britt is triggering, but is there a reason she got under his skin today? Dante feels that his kid is headed for a car accident, and he can't move him out of the path. In the halls, Rocco runs into Britt. He knows she's busy, so there is no compulsion to attend to his game. Nurse Willow cares for Drew at Drew's. Willow tells her locked-in husband that she shot him twice in the back. She never imagined she was capable of that because she's a mother and a nurse, but it was the only way to get rid of him. She believes he has questions, so she will try to answer them. Willow felt she could heal from the betrayal of him and her mother, and she just needed time and to step back to focus on herself and her kids. However, The trouble was that he wouldn't leave her alone. Something has to change. She recalled going to the Quartermaines and obtaining the gun, and even then, she wasn't sure if she could cross that line. That changed when the judge was assassinated. She recalls him of that night, when he stopped her and Chase's chat at the hospital, and went all jealous and possessive. She says Chase had just talked to the judge and informed her that she was enough to get her kids back, and she didn't need him. It had been so long since she was told she was enough for anything. Then the judge died, along with her final lifeline of getting her kids back without him. She gets in his face and asks whether he killed the judge or had someone else do it for him. Willow says she knows he's capable of killing the judge, since everything he's done has been to keep her reliant on him. That ends now. She brings up his obstructing her chance to visit Michael in Germany and manipulating Wiley. She tosses a tray of supplies across the room and says that he never loved her or her kids. He exploited them to get back at Michael and the Quartermaines. That is why she shot him, and her only regret is that he didn't die. Outside, Chase tries Michael's keys on the door until he finds the one that opens it. He enters in soon as the tray collapses in Drew's room. Chase runs into the room, believing something occurred. Willow assures Chase they are all right, and she wonders whether she left the front door open. She recommends they go to the living room to discuss. Chase apologizes for storming into the room, thinking maybe Drew had fallen down. She thanks him for caring, and tears how she doesn't know how she and Drew got themselves here. Chase tells Willow this is all Michael's fault. Willow says she and Michael came to a custody arrangement earlier, but Chase advises her not to trust Michael. In the show's final moments at the hospital, Dante says no matter how much he hates it, Rocco is interested about Britt and wants to get to know her. Liz thinks people do evolve, and some individuals have learned to trust her. Dante asks whether she'd trust her with her kids. Liz merely says she feels Britt wouldn't put anyone's kids in risk. Britt admits Rocco she does have a lot of work, therefore she may not have time for his game. Rocco claims everything's okay, but it looks he's dissatisfied. Britt encourages him to wear his mouth guard, as she doesn't want anything to damage that $1 million grin. That brings a grin out of the youngster. At the gym, Christina confronts Jacinda and asks if she gave Ezra her number. Jacinda admits she did, since she doesn't know where things will go with Michael, and she needs to prepare for the worst-case situation. Christina is looking forward to Michael proving her incorrect. At the Quartermaines, Michael orders Wiley to go to work on his schoolwork, and he dashes off. Amelia sits there coloring, and Brooke Lynn tells Michael that she's proud of him. Chase goes home to the kitchen and places Michael's keys on the kitchen floor. Wiley observes this. At Drew's, Willow proceeds to clean up the mess she caused and thanks Chase for being such a wonderful and giving guy for checking on her, plainly pulling Drew's emotions. Willow then lets Drew know that he didn't suffer a stroke, she drugged him. She prepares another syringe and tells he'll stay like way as long as she keeps drugging him. She is also going to utilize all his money and power of attorney to build a life for her and her kids that she controls. She injects him and says for now, he needs to stay this way. On the next General Hospital, Aura tells Mac that Anna won't be returning as the PCPD commissioner. Felicia delivers a note from Anna on to Jason. Emma is broken. General Hospital spoilers Monday, February 9th, Jason's alarming message, Carly and Valentine flirt, Emma's crushing news. General Hospital spoilers for Monday, February 9th, state that Jason Morgan will receive a disturbing message as Carly Spencer and Valentine Cassadine flirt. Emma Scorpio Drake will also deliver some sad news, so let's examine what's coming in Port Charles. For beginnings, Lucy Coe will catch up with Ava Jerome at Windermere and commence a conflict with her. I do know what you're selling, and it certainly isn't art. Lucy declares in Monday's GH preview video. Lucy won't be thrilled with Ava using art sales as a pretext to grow closer to Jen Sidwell as she'll presume Ava wants him for herself. As for Laura Collins, she'll discuss some Anna Devane developments with Dante Falconeri and Mac Scorpio. Anna is stranded in France owing to legal trouble and mental concerns, so Laura will reveal she won't be returning as police commissioner. Laura may ask Dante to take up the commissioner post permanently and throw him for a loop. Meanwhile, Felicia Scorpio will seek out Jason as Anna instructed her to convey a message. Anna suggested to inform Jason that she was right about Caesar Faison being alive and encourage Jason to stop him. However, Felicia may confide to Jason that she strongly doubts Anna's allegations and feels Faison is still as dead as he was before. Thanks to all Anna suffered in prison, she's obsessed on this Faison angle and will keep spinning. While Jason hears what happened in Anna's mental health facility, Emma will bring Giovanni Gio Palmieri up to speed as well. Emma will realize she's lost the grandma she knew, so Gio will soothe her as well as he can. Next, Valentine will remind Carly that she always knows the perfect buttons to push. There'll be a flirting atmosphere between them, but may Carly and Valentine cross a romantic line soon? General Hospital spoilers predict Valentine and Carly's partnership will come with more curveballs, so don't miss all the action. General Hospital spoilers: Britt never had Huntington's disease, it was all a con? General Hospital spoilers indicate that February Sweeps has rushed into PC with a snowstorm and a flood of action in Britt Westbourne's plot, including her Huntington's condition. Does anyone really accept that this crying version of Britt is the Britt we all know and loathed? Minute by minute, GH followers are growing more and more concerned that something is extremely awry with her tale. Ever since Britt came back from the grave, she has not been her caustic self, and we think there might be a very legitimate reason for that. Could it be that Britt never had Huntington's and now her deception is unraveling in real time? Definitely maybe. Let's go deep into the clues that lead to her conducting the con of the century in PC. Britt never thought she would get caught. First of all, let's make it obvious that Britt's circumstance is exceedingly twisted. Think about why she is back in PC, because Jason Morgan discovered her at the Five Poppies resort overseas. If we are true in our argument, Britt never planned to come back, not from the dead and especially not to PC. If not for Jason, Britt would still be dead and forgotten. Instead, she was compelled to re-emerge since Jason would not take no for an answer. Britt didn't replicate her drugs. Let's take this hypothesis a step further. How absurd is it that Britt, an MD, never had her black market Huntington's drugs duplicated? That makes zero sense. Yes, on the February 3rd GH episode, we witnessed sleazy Ross Cullum inject her with something. But we have no idea what was in the syringe. The contents may have been any number of things, including a life-saving therapy of some type, but there is no proof that it is an anti-Huntington's drug. We are just assuming it is. Britt's version of the truth. Let's get back to the version of the truth Britt told Jason, that Cullum and Sidwell faked her death and provided her medication to put her Huntington's into remission in return for finishing Caesar Faison's final assignment. It's just as plausible to imagine that Britt and her father Faison were working on a project and somehow, somewhere, Cullum and Sidwell forced their way into the equation. Britt getting poked by Heather Weber's poison poker might have been a stroke of accidental genius that Britt capitalized on, and here we are. Tell us, GH viewers, do you believe that way back when Britt and Faison first invented the entire Huntington's diagnosis as a pretext to have her go and work in secret on his last project? General Hospital's Michael Easton and Jophiel Love reunite for a special evening. It was a General Hospital reunion when Michael Easton and Jophiel Love met on the red carpet at Grauman's Chinese Theatre for the premiere of the new movie Dracula. In addition to spending some quality time with his former TV progeny, Easton also attended the event with his real-life daughter, 14-year-old Lila Bell. A night to remember. The vampires were out in Hollywood last night at the premiere of Luc Besson's Dracula, and I got to walk the red carpet with the coolest of them all, the amazing Jophiel Love, Easton stated on Instagram alongside a collection of photographs from the momentous occasion. The movie is visually stunning and features powerful performances by Caleb Landry Jones, Christoph Waltz, Zoe Blue, and our incredibly talented friend, Raphael Luce. Luce is really Love's elder brother, who portrays Clerk Simon in the film. His prior credits include episodes of Loki and the First Lady, as well as playing a youthful version of Henry Creel in many episodes of Stranger Things. The night was extra special for me as I got to take my beautiful daughter, Lila Bell, Easton added, joking. Her favorite movie is Interview with the Vampire, so I'm in her good graces for the time being. GH viewers watched Love grow up on screen as Violet Finn, the daughter of Easton's Dr. Hamilton Finn and Rebecca Budig's Hayden Barnes. She debuted back in October 2019, and quit the soap 5 years later in October 2024, when Violet left Port Charles to relocate to Seattle and live with her father when he got out of rehab. Beautiful, Budig stated of the red carpet reunion in the comments on the photo. Easton is no stranger to bloodsuckers, as he portrayed vampire Caleb Morley on the GH spin-off Port Charles from 2001 to 2003, forging a popular daytime supercouple with Kelly Monaco's Livy Locke. He even reprised the character on GH for a brief storyline in 2013. So happy you two came, Love raved in the comments of her TV dad's Instagram post. What a great evening. Easton said, "You're the coolest. Had so much fun hanging out with you and the family. Love you guys." Turner's change of mind on GH has nothing to do with Sunny's charm. General Hospital made it apparent Turner wasn't going easy on Sunny. She was reconsidering who truly presented the larger risk. On General Hospital, Ada Turner had been orbiting Sunny with that cautious professional familiarity that always seemed a bit like flirtation until you recalled she had never claimed she'd go easy on him if she ever had genuine proof in her hands. She talked to Sunny the way prosecutors do when they're not believing the performance, sticking to the facts even when he drifted into that familiar stance where he pretends like your attention is the actual luxury. The shift occurred later in the gym with Jordan, and it had nothing to do with sparks or closeness and everything to do with the case file starting to feel worn down around the edges. Key takeaways: Ada Turner never intimated she'd go easy on Sunny without evidence. Her shift happened after talking cases with Jordan, not getting close to Sunny. The gym talk highlighted how often Sunny became the default suspect. Jordan cautioned her about Sunny's influence, but Turner concentrated on the papers. Overhearing Drew's warning reframed who genuinely appeared dangerous walking free. The file started doing the talking at the gym. Turner asked Jordan about an old cold case from Jordan's commissioner days, and Jordan recognized the problem instantly. They hadn't had enough to nail Sunny. Turner hadn't challenged that argument, but she also hadn't seized on it like it was a tragedy, which was significant on its own. Turner confessed there were plenty of situations like that, the type that stayed around long enough to evolve into habits, and Sunny had become the easy habit in Port Charles. If a file required a villain and nobody preferred the extra work, his name suited like a default setting. Jordan warned her, because Jordan always warns people about Sunny the way you warn someone about an undertow, and she'd drawn TJ into it too. She reminded Turner that Sunny lures people in and make them think they've chosen it. What Turner heard, and what she couldn't unhear. Turner inquired whether Jordan believed Sunny was grooming her, like this was all some longer play to protect his son in Drew's shooting disaster, and Jordan didn't exactly calm her. The message was clear: if you remained close Sunny, you started second-guessing yourself, and Port Charles called it corruption even when it was simply bewilderment. But Turner's uncertainty didn't come off like Sunny had seduced her into tenderness. It came across as if she'd finally observed how often the town solved crimes by pointing at the same man until everyone got tired and went home. And the part people kept jumping around was what Turner had overheard before all of this started to curdle, when she'd been hiding in Sunny's house and overheard Drew threatening him and Michael. Turner hadn't been warming to Sunny so much as understanding that Drew, wandering about free, was starting to appear like the larger risk, and it was the type of revelation that doesn't let you sleep well. Willow confesses, Chase crosses the line, Dante explodes. Willow exposes her deepest secret, Chase crosses a hazardous line, and Michael chooses joint custody under penalty of jail. Britt Westbourne and Dante Falconeri clashed, while Willow Kane tormented Drew Kane with truth bombs. Plus, at the Quartermain home, Michael Corinthos briefed Brooke Lynn Quartermain Chase about the visitation and custody arrangement. Key points: Willow admits she shot Drew and explains she drugged him to keep him locked in and powerless. Chase discreetly steals Michael's keys and uses them to enter Drew's residence without a warrant. Britt and Dante argue passionately, with Dante urging her to stay away from Rocco. Michael agrees to split custody to avoid court and a potential arrest for Drew's shooting. Willow injects Drew again, confirming her plan to control him, his money, and her future. Chase pocketed Michael's keys when Dante walked in the kitchen after pondering about Michael's keys. Harrison Chase hastily pocketed them when Dante walked into the kitchen seeking for Rocco Falconeri. When Chase asked about the inquiry with Michael, Dante reminded him he had already been demoted for overstepping. Chase said he believed in justice, but Dante countered they were family, not cops and suspects. Chase pressed on, thinking if proof tied Michael to Drew's shooting, Dante wouldn't defend his brother. As the acting police commissioner agreed to respect the law, they were stopped by Rocco, and Dante departed to take his kid to the hospital, and Chase fled with the keys. Elizabeth confronted Britt, who was late to work. When Britt came late to work, Elizabeth Baldwin told her patients were waiting. Britt informed her she was no longer her supervisor. Liz claimed Terry Randolph, her boss, was looking for her and asked if she could explain Britt was late because she was working at Windmere. Britt grew upset until Liz stated she and Lucas Jones were only discussing about barely making it off Spoon Island during the hurricane. To cover her actual purpose for being on the island, Britt stated she took the Windmere position for more money to rebuild her life and apologized to Liz for overreacting. Dante and Britt clashed. Dante accompanied Rocco to the hospital for community service. When Britt spotted them, she inquired how it was doing. Liz and Dante made faces as Britt warned Rocco that she and her family would cheer for him at his next hockey game, and Liz swiftly brought Rocco to work. After they departed, Dante addressed Britt, furiously saying, "How far can you push me? Britt didn't see a problem with attending Rocco's hockey game, but Dante didn't understand why she wanted a relationship with his son. Britt felt they had a ceasefire, but Dante reminded her that she took 7 months from his son's life and didn't care about people she wounded. Britt and Dante continued arguing. Britt stated that he only had Rocco because she helped bring him into the world and that Rocco truly likes her. Dante stated that Rocco didn't know the real Britt and thought she didn't deserve to be in their lives. Britt stated Rocco was no longer a child and could select who he wanted in his life. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe my channel without missing any update.